Hey sellers! It's time for a shout out to the amazing sellers in this eBay community. This is the video where I just pick random sales from the Money Making Mondays. So nothing is in order. This is not about dollar amounts. It's about things that sell and sharing that information so we can all be smarter sellers because nobody's ever going to learn it all. We just have to keep learning all the time. So let's dive in. We're going to start with Julianne CC Lansing. Paid 50 cents for these string light covers at my local church thrift. They were in the original box but missing the key to help them get on the string light. So I sold them as replacements. Accepted best offer of $15. Took 8 days to sell. This is an IKEA product. Strala heartstring light covers. So 15 bucks, investment was 50 cents. That's a successful flip. And Julianne is kind of new to eBay. She is transitioning from Poshmark, still selling on Poshmark, but I did a consultation with her a few months ago to get her rolling, and she's just selling anything and everything. So good for you, Julianne, for diving in. Okay, we have Zandra Ritter. We finished this 1,000 piece puzzle feeling unaccomplished as it was missing one piece. I listed it anyway, and it sold within days of listing for $29 shipped. It is a White Mountain puzzle, 1,000 piece American Aviation, 1995. Doesn't say how much she paid for it. Couldn't have been much. But side note on puzzles, if they are missing a piece, contact the company that manufactured the puzzle, and you can send a photo of your completed puzzle and it'll show them which piece is missing, and they will send you the missing piece. And this is pretty common across all the puzzle companies. Sometimes there's a piece left out. It's not that it was lost, it's the number of pieces on the box is an estimate. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, and sometimes pieces get left out when they're manufactured. So if you are a puzzle guru and you like to work them before selling them, you can contact the company to get that missing piece. I put in my listings what I just said about the number of pieces shown on the box is an estimate. If this puzzle is missing any pieces, you can contact the company to get a replacement, because I do not work puzzles before listing them. I also include that information. We did not work this puzzle, so we cannot guarantee all the pieces are present, but there's a way the buyer can get anything missing from the company. So in case you didn't know that, there you go. Cheryl Henderhan. This was a week of selling items I have had for a very long time. Glad to see them go. Took a best offer of $23, paid $2 at a local thrift store. Sold after almost a year of ending and sell similar. This is a vintage cross-stitch sampler, Home Sweet Home 1920 with alphabet. Okay, isn't that interesting? So $2 and flipped for 23, and you get a gold star for patience, Cheryl. Andrew Silveroli found this at Goodwill for $1.82. Sold in 2 weeks for full price. 1995 Warner Brothers Looney Tunes Tasmanian Devil collectible staple remover. Didn't know there was such a thing. $1.82 and sold for $29.99. Gotta love those cartoon characters. Eileen Cole, part of an estate bundle. I have about $1 into this, sold for full asking price of $19.95 plus shipping, sold in 3 months. This is a needlepoint ladies belt kit. Okay, that is very groovy and 70-ish. And $1 sold for just under 20. Maria paid $8, sold in a few days for best offer of $76. Juicy couture brown velvet wide leg track suit Y2K. And I'm quite sure she got this at the bins because she was on the podcast a while back and talked about shopping at the bins. $8 sold for 76. Bethany Henderson, who is the friend of Maria and got her into reselling. I think they're neighbors. Anyway, she paid $12, sold next day for offer of 56. Love a quick flip. I'm not a storage unit. Salmon Speed Cross 3 trail running shoes, men's size 12. So $12 and she took an offer of 56. Lisa Middleton purchased this unbranded enamel pot at a yard sale in 2023 for $5. I've sent so many offers since listing it with no bites. Finally sold for full asking price plus shipping this week. Retro enamelware soup pot. Floral 70s, orange and green. $5 and sold for $32.99. And that is quite cute. Laurie Toman found this in a drawer. I hadn't used it in at least 2 years. Charged it up, listed it about 3 weeks ago, and sold for full asking price plus shipping yesterday. Garmin Forerunner 235 Frost Blue GPS Runner's Watch. So it was hers. She found it in her house and sold it for $77.99. And I love it when that happens. Oh, what's in here? Oh, I haven't used this in ever. I'm going to sell it. And then you pick up almost $80 for it. Carol Brune from my girls' childhood collection, so no cost. Sold in a few days for $32.98. Littlest Pet Shop Authentic Short Hair Cat number 339. And another case of just finding something in your house and selling it and walking away with the money. Maggie May. I'm grateful for all of my sales this time of year. I picked up these cashmere lined leather gloves at a thrift for $5. They just sold today after a week for asking price plus shipping. New tags, Founds gloves, leather, cashmere lined, and she sold them for $23. Blake Helms. Books, books, books. I only pay 50 cents a book at the bins. This is one that sold this week. It only took about 5 days. It looks like a textbook, Nursing Research 11th edition by Denise Pollitt and Cheryl Beck. Sold for $70. He paid 50 cents. Catherine Racine won in a local auction for $5. Sold on offer. I sent out for $55 after about 4 months. Okay, what is this? It looks like some kind of hair system. Hair building kit with cleanser. Okay, $5 sold for $55. Jane Brown paid 50 cents at an estate sale. Sold in less than 24 hours for an offer of $31. Vintage 1985 Mattel She-Ra Princess of Power. Okay, 50 cents sold for $31. These little toys can be profitable. Some of them are pretty tiny and maybe tedious to take pictures of, but they're profitable. Bill Hunt. I got 5 of these slime hats for $4 each at a yard sale. I've been listing them one at a time ever since. They're promo items from a Nickelodeon sponsored NFL game. I listed this one on the day of the last Nickelodeon sponsored game and it sold within 24 hours for $69.93. Okay, that is definitely a unique item. This was a promo from 2022. So, the older these limited edition type items get, the more valuable they are. And I'm always on the fence about how to list multiples because, for example, if Bill had done a listing and said there was a quantity of 5, might someone buy more than one if they know you have more than one? Or is it better to just list them one at a time, let it sell, list the next one? I never know which is the best way to go and usually just experiment with that. But there are people who would buy multiples. So I guess if they want more than one, they just wait for you to list the next one. But he's doing well with these. Julie Brown. Limax can be good for villages for various seasonal decorations. Like other collectibles, there are a few pieces in a collection that for some reason can bring a high dollar. I found a bag of Limax accessories and thought about lotting them up as they were similarly themed. I did take the time to look up each piece and I'm glad that I did. This piece has gone for as high as $50. I sold it for $39.98 plus shipping in 3.5 months, and it was after Christmas. This is a 2014 Limax Movie Night Couple Village figurine. Sold for just under $40 after Christmas. Kathleen Gifford. I picked up these vintage cloth diapers at a small thrift shop last week. Paid $2 and they sold in 3 days for $53. The brand is Curity, Curity, cloth diapers, one ply with pinked edges, and it was a quantity of 4. So $2 and sold for 53. Suzanne Keene. Free from my own stash of cleaning supplies. Sold in about 3 weeks for $49.99. So, yet another example of stuff that's already in your house that you discover is valuable. Gonzo Stain Remover, 8 ounce, odorless for clothing, carpets, upholstery. And it's non toxic, which that is a great selling point. Okay, free, sold for 50. Dina Napoli found this fleece jacket or shacket at the Goodwill for $4.99 and it was new with tags. I gave it to my son for Christmas, but it didn't fit, so I put it up for sale on eBay. Sold for full asking price and took 3 weeks to sell. The brand is Voyager. Red plaid fleece lined jacket. Shacket, that's a key word you might not know. It's one of those made up combo words. It's a shirt, it's a jacket. Oh, it's a shacket. So, sold for $24.95. Dawn Taylor, purchased at an estate sale for $2, listed and sold within 1 hour. Took best offer of 20. It was full of 45 RPM records, but none of them were terribly popular. So she just sold the case. Oh no, she's got some records in there. Vintage portable metal 45 RPM vinyl record case carrier contains over 30 records. Okay, so what she's saying is she looked through the records and none of them were worth selling on their own, so she just did a package deal. Donna Shirley paid $1 at St. Vincent's, listed for 6 months, ended and let sit for about a month. Then sold similar and it sold within a month with a 10% off offer. Vintage 1991 Dakin Fraser Collection Plush Panda. Rare. $1 and sold for 55. Becky Sanders bought this for $10 at a thrift store in September, sold for best offer of $70. Colonial Williamsburg fabric, Chinese peony, 6 yards, 70 bucks, $10 investment. You fabric people are so smart. I'm just overwhelmed. I don't know what to choose. Um, I feel like I'll just end up with a closet full of fabric because I'm just not a sewing person, so I don't know that category very well, but a lot of you smart people out there sure do. Sharon Brower. I found this coat at the thrift store for $4.32. It sold on best offer of $51 plus shipping after 4 months. It is Land's End women's down feather jacket with removable hood. So $4 sold for 51. Cheryl Green purchased for $6 at an estate sale 4 months ago. Sold for $35 plus $8.35 shipping. It is a Martha Stewart Macy's whiteware covered butter dish with lid. Now, look how plain that looks. That doesn't jump out and scream, I'm valuable. But the Martha Stewart stamp on the bottom is your key there. $6 sold for 35. Colleen Olson. New shoes made in Italy. I think I paid $6. They sold for $60 in about 2 months. New Bostonian Florentine brown slip-on leather loafers. $6 sold for 60. Jamie Spitznogel purchased from an auction for about 50 cents. Had less than 10 days, sold for $89.99. And it is a French word, cloisonne tile, coat of arms. Oh, Netherlands. Okay. And as you notice, I did not try to pronounce that. So this was 50 cents and it sold for $89.99. Next is Karen Monks. I just made up a price of $50 as there were no comps to go by. Took a $30 offer for this cassette single after 1 day. Dolly Parton, Rare Time for Me to Fly cassette, new and sealed, 1990. And she doesn't say what she paid for it, but it sold for $30. Marlene Ward, Free from Church rummage sale, sold on best offer of $40 plus shipping within 48 hours of listing. Betty Crocker's Cookie Book, 1963 first edition, free and sold for $40. Patty Paul, had this linen in my store for years. Just ended and sold similar last week, and it sold within the week for full price. 1950s floral bridge luncheon tablecloth. Cornflower, poppies, and daisies. Sold for $24.99. Cheryl Sicolo, free to me from a Party Light rep going out of business. Sold for full asking in 4 days. Party Light Tea Light Gingerbread Village, number 3, sold for 20 bucks. Denise Haley, Goodwill bins. I paid around $1 for it. Sold in about 2 months for this sale price plus shipping. Picked it up on a whim because I liked the graphics and checked the comps. New ones were selling for $99, so I figured it was worth a shot. It's a canvas tote bag, Daunt Books, forest green and cream handles. So it's a tote bag. $1, sold for $37.49. Carol Hollis. These have been hanging in my eBay pile for several years, just collecting more. I think I bought half of them at the flea market. It's been so long, I do not remember what I paid, but most likely under $10. They sold for full price in 3 hours. I had combed through for anything of significant value, but I suppose I could have missed something. But it's fine. Glad they are going to a new home. 300 postcards, huge lot of post, linen, and United States postcards. So sold for $49.99. And yes, I delved into postcards and I just didn't have the patience for it. There's a lot of them and a lot of researching to do. It just didn't move fast enough for me. But so I hear you, Carol, on having those hang out in your eBay pile. Um, Sometimes that happens when we delve into new products. Linda Stuba purchased at a thrift store for $1. Took a month to sell for 25. Rescue Heroes Max Action Squad. So it is a toy, Rescue Heroes. $1 sold for 25. Julie Gambino purchased at the Goodwill bins, so the cost is pennies. Took about 18 months, sold for full asking price of $23.74. 27 vintage 1980s Hallmark St. Patrick's Day die cuts. So pennies into it and sold for $23.74. Diana Warren was a slow week as I haven't been listing in the past few weeks, but this sold for full asking of $32.99 in about 4 months. I paid about $2 in a bulk purchase at an estate sale. It's a Cutco knife, serrated edge, spatula spreader, so a Cutco product. $2 sold for $32.99. George Kelly found this plush My Pet Monster puppet at an estate sale for $1. Sold at auction for $82.50. Vintage My Pet Monster Gwonk 1986 hand puppet. Oh, that's a fun flip. $1 and sold for $82.50. Terry Wilcox picked up free at church thrift store and sold for full asking price in less than a month. It is a camelback hiking running backpack. Sold for $24.99. And Tiffany Takao bought at Goodwill for $3, sold for $30.30 in about 2 months. It is a tie-dye tank sleeveless circle dress. That's very cool. $3, sold for $30.30. Okay, that wraps up this edition of the eBay Seller Shout Out. Keep going, everybody. Keep listing. Tackle those death piles. Your next sale could just be seconds away. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.